Hey everyone, today on the bench I'm going to tie you up an old fly of mine, one of the first ones I came up with, called Brent's Premier. We were actually on Premier Lake a number of years ago and nobody was doing very well that day except one fellow was picking up a few fish here and there. I went over and seen what he was using and it was basically an emerald green Flashaboo body and it's kind of a deer here lashed over the top. I've changed it more of a shellback style. This is really what I come up with. So really to imitate the Flashaboo, I found some of this nice emerald colored crystal chenille. For the shellback, so the deer, I've gone to something more durable. I went to the moose body hair and I used the longer, really tough, this coarse and withstands a lot of fish chewing on that, and also it gives it a little buoyancy. For the hackle, I'm going to use the brown, this is furnace saddle hackle. And for the hook, we're going to use a 1560 Daiichi number 8. They say it's a 1X long, heavy 1X heavy nymph hook. And the thread, you can use dark brown. I'm using a green thread to match the color of the body. You can match your materials, it's all the better. If not, use what you have. Okay, really simple fly to tie. We always wondered what it represented too. We were kind of thinking, well, it's got to be a caddis larva or something like that. One day in our lakes out at the Cypress Hills, Kathy Ruddick was fishing with us. She pulled out a beetle larva out of the lake for sample. Big, and it looked pretty much bang on. And I think that's what they're taking it for right there. I mean, who'd ever think of a beetle larva imitation? But what a big chunky piece of meat that would be for a trout, definitely. I've also just wanted to show you, I've taken a few of these and tried some different colors. I've used some ice dub with some bleached elk over the top. There's some light olive, and used even kind of a shrimp colored ice dub. That works good. I've tried to thin up some of the bodies. I put just some this colored holographic Flashaboo in the rib and just a sealed body. That one we're just testing right now, but this color here has been really good, and I've had competitive fly fishermen order this hook and this fly from me, and it's been good. They've been using it for years, and I shouldn't maybe tell everybody. They don't want to advertise. Those guys like to keep those cards pretty close to themselves, their chest, as the old poker players say. I'm just going to wind my chenille body to the front. A lot of nice glitter on that. Now we're just going to get kill off a little bit of our moose body here. We don't really need that much. Get the under fur out, not a lot on there. Get that in my stacker. Tips first. Line up the tips. Then to measure it, I'm going to tie it off of the back, the rear here. That's a tie off point. That's where I'm going to tie in at the front for shellback. So if I tied it right in there, that's how much tail I would have. I want it a little bit shorter. I don't want too long a tail on it. That's pretty close. By the time I take it over the top and put 6/0 thread on here, you want to put a little heat on this, stretch that, tie that down good and tight. Then I'm going to take these butts and I'm going to trim them off as close as I can, a bit of an angle, so I don't have any bulk in the way there, because we have to pull this moose body hair over itself. I'm just going to grab myself a nice little hackle here. This is a generic saddle. It's just a little more inexpensive. It makes great wet fly. We want to use these nice soft saddles for wet flies. Breathe a little better than dry fly hackle. I'm just going to run my hackle and my thread back at the same time. And this is how I do it with my rotary vise. You guys might want to tie it a little different on your standard vise, maybe do a little different. And I tied a lot of hackle on there. kind of pinches down that, shrinks that body material up a little bit, makes it a little thinner too. I just want to trim off the top, get rid of some of that excess hackle. And I'm just going to simply pull my shell back to the rear and tie it off at the rear of the hook. Try to simplify all the steps I can. Take a long reach, whip finish to the rear, clip that off. Now remember, when you're fishing any of these fullback flies, you got hackle coming out all the way around. You want to trim that down and trim them down to the side, just so the hackle's coming off the sides, okay? Really important. And just a piece of hair, not too worried about that. Just make sure that you don't have hackle coming out the side, because your fly will spin. It'll turn, it won't swim right. You want it swimming straight up and down. And why I've went for this deer, or these moose body hair, this fly is neutral buoyant. That's what I found that makes it really, really effective. I can keep it in the zone a long time. I've one of our lakes that I fished, a little small pond that I was not marking any fish at all in it one day, and this was in the fall. We had a heavy weed growth. Those fish were so tight in the weeds, they were all in there eating, and there was nothing else I could really get in there. I took a clear intermediate line, it's over top of the weeds, and this fly just knocked them dead that day with that, because it would stay above the weeds, it wouldn't sink. So neutral buoyancy, and a lot of your flies, you can keep it in the zone right along. It'll follow your fly line, your leader, and you want to stay in the zone for as long a period as you can. So here's one you definitely want to try. I'm going to put some of these on the internet, on the online Shop for Dawn store, and this is one that doesn't look like much, looks pretty innocent, but it's taken a lot of really nice trout. So have a great day.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.